What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the No Cap Space post-game show. It's been a day. Let me turn this TV off because Texas has officially won that game. What's been beneficial? No, well, I'm not gonna say that. But but I'm Tyler, joined by Greer and Shawnee, and it's been a day. It's been a day. We can kind of run through the Texas game since that one just ended. I mean, Texas did Texas things. They absolutely just made life incredibly difficult for Gonzaga. Like everything that Gonzaga likes to do, working off screens and everything, Texas is kind of just like the ultimate team to stop that. And it was just kind of just one of those draws, it felt like, for Gonzaga once you get just into bracket, like deeper into the bracket. But I mean, Texas looks like a Final Four team to me.
Possibly. I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. I tweeted out before the game once I realized what we was about to be watching. I said Gonzaga and Texas, it's about to be ugly and low scoring. And then what happened? It was ugly and low scoring.
Texas go up to 69.
It gave me a headache.
But 40 for Gonzaga, especially like what they're known to do.
Right.
I had to take a break, man. Because I was like, this is like, once I saw like the Twins weren't hitting, they was stopping the perimeter play. They wasn't getting many looks inside. And like, it just,
I saw Gonzaga airball a corner three and I turned it off.
Yeah. That's why I mean, like, respectfully, Gonzaga's had a great season, great story. Yvonne Ejim, we've been bigging her up, but it's just like at this point, after what we saw today, it was just like, okay, this is as predicted, right. Ugly and low scoring.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of had you switched the games, like the Texas and the Stanford game, maybe it would be, a little bit more.
Well, that's when my nap would have came earlier then. Like,
okay, well, Shawnee, I'm trying to make a save here. Well, clearly so much to say about this game, so let's dive into the next one. Let's just start off from the beginning here, because the name, the word of the day, was nose ring. Because this game had a little bit of everything in it. What I found most interesting in this one was like, if you didn't watch this game and you just looked at each team's box score respectively, there would be something in the box score that you would look at and be like, oh damn, they're probably getting blown out. Whether it be the rebounding that Oregon State won or the turnovers that Notre Dame absolutely dominated 26-5. So yeah, this one was interesting to me in that sense, and that's ultimately why it became close, because both teams had a factor like that. But Greer, if you want to start off, just kind of any big takeaways here from this game?
Any what? Sorry.
Any big takeaways just in general?
I mean, I just continue to be impressed by Oregon State. Right, this is a team that we followed very closely all season long. They came out of what is very likely the best conference in women's college basketball this season. And they showed why, right? They just can beat you in a multitude of ways. They have the guards. They obviously have the post depth. And I think Tamika Gardner and Reagan Beers could both be like focal points on offense.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The way that they work together is really, really commendable.
Mm-hmm.
They just have perfect complementary skill sets, and I was just really impressed with both of them today. This is their first time going into the Elite Eight. They're only sophomores, and they played with incredible poise today. Donovan Hunter, another really good young player for them, played with poise down the stretch as well, even after getting like some 10-second violations that just absolutely killed me.
Yeah, but, 2 of them. 2 10-second violations and you win the game is crazy.
So shout out to the bigs of Oregon State, because they held it down today, and they just showed like why they might be the actual best front court in the Pac-12 this year.
Uh-oh. We gonna get to that later.
Heavy.
That's I mean, they might be going the deepest. But I agree with you though. Like the balance that this Oregon State team has, and we've talked so much about like the youth, and I know we've talked about it at times with South Carolina this year, and obviously like the vets have been able to step up for that team, but there are no vets for this Oregon State team. There's not a single senior on the roster, let alone in the rotation. So like everything that they're doing here, and had that tournament experience before. The past 2 years, they missed the tournament. So, like, this is all new, and it just kind of doesn't matter. And I think that speaks to the balance of this team, that no matter kind of what game that you end up trying to play against them, they're relatively able to kind of adjust to that and to play really whatever game, because they have just that well-rounded of a roster. But I do want to talk about the nose ring.
Yeah, you can't not talk about it.
I mean, for me, I thought it was insane because we had.
Well, let's tell people what happened first of all if they couldn't watch the game.
See it.
It was an early game today.
Yes, yes. So if you missed it, if you were actually working like I was too, basically what happened is that Hannah Hidalgo has been wearing a nose ring the entirety of the season. Has never had any issues. She's used the proper cover up for it, like as necessary when playing games. And after the game had already started, near the end of the first quarter, after being told that it was okay to wear with the covering, she was forced to take the nose ring out. And because of that, she ended up missing like 4 minutes, I think, in like the second quarter that I wouldn't anticipate her normally missing in that way.
That was 4 minutes of game time. So real time she ended up being on the bench.
Because they couldn't get the nose ring out. They're literally like pulling like pliers and everything to try and get the nose ring out. It was actually kind of insane. And it was just something that could have been handled pregame had it really been a problem. Obviously, and the thing that like is wild to me was that there were conversations about it. Like she got the okay from at least one ref, and then it became an issue during the game, and you missed that. Yes, yeah. And that's what's crazy to me. And then you miss that amount of game time in a game that's this close. And like she was started off pretty solid offensively. And then after that, and obviously, you don't really want to kind of make that excuse, but like after that, it was completely different offensively. She never got into a rhythm or anything. And obviously you can't directly correlate the two things, but like, come on now.
Okay. Cause like me and Greer was saying this, like we're older millennials.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Look here, boy.
Emphasis.
Mm-hmm. All right, but like, yeah. Tyler, I'm gonna put hands on you one day. Mm-hmm. It's just gonna happen.
No, go ahead.
But like,
right, Johnny, come on.
I don't understand when this was allowed though, because like when we was coming up, like LeBron had to have his tattoos covered up. You had to take all your earrings out. You had to wear certain colored socks and certain colored shoes, and everything had to match. And there was like standard uniform compliances. And so to me, like a cover up on a nose ring is kind of wild for that to even be allowed. And I know I've seen like several players on different teams have nose rings and stuff. So it's not like uncommon. It's just crazy to me that like this became a thing, because you was like, when I came, you was supposed to take that out before the game anyway. And then I don't understand how it becomes lodged in your nose to the point where you can't get it out. Because I was kind of like, why ain't like they toss it to the, training staff? Somebody put it in something, and hold on to it, because that's wild to me. Y'all got to go get pliers, and now you're missing 4 minutes. That's half of a quarter.
Yeah. Right.
And they needed her because like Talia Van Oelhoffen, she struggled. Hannah had the clamps. And I was watching that. Like, I came in second half. I had to do my grocery shopping. Got a nice little haul at the Publix.
There you go.
But, like, I came in, and she was just – I was watching. I was like, ugh, get off. Like, move. Like, she is stifling on defense. Hannah is no joke on the defensive end. So, I feel like this was a great game for Oregon State to show that versatility and show those different options. In case you haven't read our Substack, Andrew wrote an incredible story showing how they got here and showing the weapons they've had. You guys did an incredible interview with Talia talking about the weapons that they have. And one of them she mentioned was Donovan Hunter. And like, in this class of talented freshmen, they have a talented freshman of their own, because she had 11 points, was not scared of the moment. And it's like in situations like that where one person might go down, now you got a whole bunch of other people willing to step up and, take some of the load off. But like, I just think it's really crazy, because Hannah went off after the game about the nose ring thing. Was like, this is BS. And I was like, it is, but how did we get here? That's the wild part to me. Like kids wearing shiesty mask and doing whatever.
Gen Z expresses itself, okay?
Mark, surviving and advancing is as much about beating it's much more about not beating yourself than it is about beating your opponent, right? Because you don't have a lot of time to prepare for the next opponent. It's what do you as a team and a player, what do you do well that you can carry over from game to game to game? And beating yourself by not following the rules is just high up there to me as like, this is very preventable. You got an entire coaching staff who all played D1 college basketball.
And pro. I don't remember those rings in the W. Even if,
I just don't even understand how dating back to November, we're just not doing it. We're just not wearing jewelry. And on top of that, it's incredibly dangerous. It's very dangerous.
Like that's why the rule is in place. We couldn't wear like the bracelets so nobody's hands got caught or anything. You couldn't wear earrings or anything like that, so it didn't like rip out on her. Like stuff be happening. Right.
And for a player like Hannah who goes a mile a minute and it's like super intense and stuff like that, it's just you don't need any accoutrements when you're on. You know what I mean? Like you don't need
not glossary yet.
Your game is enough, and. Yeah, that's where I look at the coaching staff. That's where I look at the more established players on their roster to say, we got to minimize distractions, period.
It's all about the margins.
Razor thin. And the time that you miss may very well impacted the outcome of this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair to say that a 5-point difference, Hannah Hidalgo in 4 minutes is worth 5 points. One way or the other, defensively or offensively, she's gonna attribute to 5 points one way or the other. So I
had Oregon State advancing in my bracket, so it's kind of like that a little adjustment. It was unexpected, but hey,
right answer, wrong equation.
Don't ask me to show the work.
And that's one aspect to this game, I think, like that's a good question. But then there's, things that happen down the stretch too, where I'm just like, wow, right? Like Oregon State's ability to execute in the half court. They took something like 20 less shots than Notre Dame did in this game.
Yeah, so Oregon State had 48, Notre Dame had 73. So
that's just like saying every time that they got down to their half of the court, they were executing, basically.
Yeah, I mean, look, they had 26 turnovers to Notre Dame's 5. And the fact they even got to 70 is one thing with that many turnovers, but then also because they shot 60%. That's insane. You have to do those insane level things.
Like, did you?
Like they was turning it over, like getting a steal and giving it right back. Like, all right, we just want to see if we can do it.
Yeah. But no, this one was. I mean, obviously. Notre Dame has been incredibly shorthanded across this entire season. The fact that they even made it to a 2 seed is a testament to what this team has done. I mean, Citron was incredible today as well when it comes just to the shot making and everything. West Belt as well. Yep. So this is a team that I'm pretty sure we don't have Notre Dame Shardy in here, but I'm pretty sure that they're retaining just about everything. And obviously bringing Olivia Miles back, like the talent, like the way the trajectory for this Notre Dame team next year is ridiculous. Like just when it comes to the pure talent and everything. Like I don't know exactly how Hannah and Olivia are gonna fit together, but they're gonna figure it out one way or another. It's just kind of a wait to see exactly how that looks. But I don't imagine that being an issue or anything of that nature where they can't figure that out. So
somebody had tweeted me and was like, "Oh yeah, less shots for Hannah," and I was like, "Or more shots for society."
Facts.
Yeah, I don't think less shots for Hannah is a bad thing. She's still gonna get hers. Come on. They gonna make.
I mean, but like if Hannah's getting steals, now we have extra possessions, so now we can shoot twice as much. I can still get mine, and you can still get yours. Like I don't see a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't.
Notre Dame has never struggled to have two guards perform well at the same time.
Facts. That's a great point. There's very much a history of this.
Come on now.
If you were to pick a program to do this at, Notre Dame is the program to do this at. So, yeah, I'm not worried about it. It'll be interesting to see where they go. Oregon State is officially elite. We've been saying it all season, but they are officially elite. We have been in the trenches of Pac-12 After Dark trying to let the world know about this Oregon State team. We've been in the articles. We've been in the interviews. We've been on the playback. And now I feel vindicated about this team. And
because honestly, this is our win. We did it, Joe.
Hey, look,
we did it.
Said, are we America's team now? You're definitely no cap spaces team.
There you go. You are the no cap space team.
Promise the rest of America.
But hey,
or what that means, we don't. Hey, look, if you guys, there's a curse, we don't know about it yet.
Yeah,
we're new.
We
don't yell at us.
It's only like our third day out here. Like we're
blame Drake, not us.
We figure it all out. Yeah, this is Drake's fault for putting the Hannah Hidalgo post up. But
oh heck yes.
Yeah, that's the pivot. That's the pivot.
They should sue him.
I'm with it. I mean, he still ain't respond. He ain't gonna respond to that either. But let's move on because Oregon State is moving on too, and they're gonna be playing South Carolina. This thing got shaky, but it was the Macarena game. Everybody, everything changed when the Macarena happened. I put that clip out, and they saw it. Hey, Macarena! And Sydney Harris said, "What the hell were you doing?" She looked at that in the camera and said, "Oh, we dancing." Let's dance. And she started popping off in that second half. She entered the game with 21 points. I mean, it got scary. Like, genuinely, like, it was very, very worrisome down the stretch in this South Carolina game. Shawnee, if you want to kind of bat lead off, this is your team. If you want to bat lead off here with just any takeaways that you have, I know you got a couple points to get off your chest. So just go ahead. I'm going to let you get your ISO off. Oh, damn, I actually heard a pop. That was a real one.
So first, let me say, like, this is your fault because there were two games. You tweeted something, and then things went like horribly, horribly wrong for the other team.
I'm just clipping.
Well, here's the thing: we were fine, and then you clipped, and then we were
Greer asked for it. Greer asked for the Macarena clip.
I mean,
it was already being posted, but she asked for
it. And let me just say, like, I like the dancing. I'm fine with it. I don't think it was that
halftime. Like it was.
Yeah, it doesn't. They were coming out of the half. Yeah. I don't want people to get too tight. Like, I want them to stay loose. When you get too tight, you start making mistakes. You can't shake off the last play. You can't be ready and stay ready for situations where, you're called upon. So I'm fine with the dancing as long as it doesn't, like, interfere with anything. We're good. So let me back up and say, like, I went to a watch party at Iron Hill today. Shout out to USC Jen and Marshall James. Hopefully you guys are watching. Yeah, man. It was good. We out here. It was good running into y'all. Thank y'all for supporting. Thank y'all for watching. But shout out to y'all. Now, getting back to the game.
She said, "That's a business."
It was not about the dancing. I said this timidly on the post-game show after the UNC game. And now I'm going to say it with my whole heart and my full chest. I need Don Staley to not be so rigid with the lineups. Because in the UNC game, we stagnated in the third quarter. And, Malaysia wasn't in, Tessa wasn't in. She went back with the starters. And, they weren't doing poorly, but we were kind of treading water. And it's like, we could really end this thing. We get back into this situation where it's like, Camilla, offensively, they had no answer for her. Defensively, she was cooked food. I love her. She was cooked food because they was pulling her away from the basket. Yes, and that's where things got dicey to where she wasn't close enough to contest the shot, and so now they're getting their shot up over her, and then she was still too far away from the basket.
Forcing her to make a decision on defense rather than just kind of be a big body. Yeah.
Well, she wasn't like committing either way. Like if she backed off of them, they were just gonna shoot it, and if she pulled up on them, then they were going. There's nobody to protect the rim, so it got really. This was a matchup nightmare in terms of her, and so my thing was if she's gonna be getting picked on defense, in a sense, we need to be riding her until she can't breathe on offense because 22 points, they didn't have an answer for her. Clear out, let her go one-on-one, let her, do her thing because I had tweeted that out the timeout. I want to see a Camilla touch. I want to see more Camilla touches. They pass it to Camilla. They don't have an answer for her. You know what I'm saying? Just like, give me to Albany. My baby chickens need me. My baby chickens need me. So I just, I feel like there were better people to put in, me and my dad were talking about that, like in a lineup like this where you have Indiana has a bunch of people you can spread the floor out. You need athletic bigs. You need people that can contest and, guard out in space. And so this just wasn't a great lineup for her. Ashlyn, Ashlyn either. She had that key block at the end, so shout out to her. Good for her coming up, and that's what I'm saying. Stay loose so you can make a good play when you're called upon. But like, I just feel like there were better matchups and better ways to go about this.
Yeah, I also
You
just
to
feel
keep a Walker minutes is what you're telling me.
Greer, because I mean, if we can get some DeBerry, if we can get some DeBerry,
you said deal.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm with it.
That's funny. Yeah, I'm with you though. On the offensive end with Camilla, she was 10 for 12. There's no reason she should have only had 12 shots in this game.
Right?
Like, and obviously that's 12 shots, including, I know I can figure out on top of my head at least one that was like a rebound putback. So that's like 2 shots in 1%. You know what I mean? She should have had at least 20 shots in this game with the way that she was producing on the offensive end. I think that was my biggest gripe overall for South Carolina in this game, where it's like when stuff kind of started slowing up, you didn't go back to what was working. And I don't think there was any reason to not go back to that. It was working.
This was the time to use last year's playbook, man. Bring that back.
Exactly. No, this I think that's spot on. I didn't even think about it like that, but you're spot on. That would have been the perfect time. The exact game plan from last year. Get that.
Run the Aaliyah Boston
in the paint. You got run 4 verts and get it in the paint. Like, come on now. Like, and that's what I feel like they should have done. And they never really got back to that. And I never really saw a particular reason why. It's not like somebody else had a hot hand or anything like that. Like, it was just to just stop giving the ball to Camilla. And that's what made this game close in my eyes, was that they lost that constant production from Camilla and never really went back to it.
It's what made the game close. And I hate to be a glass half full person when it comes to South Carolina.
I
crazy lead in.
Empty. I want it
empty. But if I'm gonna do it, I have to talk about the shot that Raven Johnson hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, big time.
That she hit.
Big time.
And if Camilla is just dominating the matchup, getting the 20 field goal attempts that she deserved, I don't know that there's room for Raven to do that and like get over the mental hurdle that she seemed to tonight. You know what I'm saying? And so, in March, the goal, there's no cool points, right? You don't get any extra. It doesn't matter if you only won by 1 point or 2 possessions like they did in this game. There's no extra for no style points in this, right? So, if I am looking at it, glass half full,
it's hurting you.
Game.
God.
You gotta watch your mouth.
But again, I gotta give Raven her props, because she took the shot, she stepped up, she made it, and she's telling the rest of America and anyone that's left in the tournament, you can't wave me off this time. So I like it.
Yeah.
And why did that happen? Because she Macarena. If she had been too tight,
Macarena.
Yeah, if she had been too tight and too, oh my gosh, and in her head and stuff, and that shot might not have happened. The Macarena works.
Yeah, Shawnee, since you mentioned the lineup there, we got a question from the chat from Brittany. What would have been the ideal lineup for you had you?
I would have liked to see.
What would it have been?
Maybe not finishing the game, but there were times in the third. In stretches, I wanted to see more Sanaya, because I know she got in foul trouble, but like there came a point in the fourth, at the very beginning of the fourth, at least, where I was like, let her foul out then. She can't take them home with her. So, she was cooking too. And, let her do her. She's pretty good in space. Chloe definitely is. I think this was a premier matchup for her, because like we're still trying to get we got her on that workout plan where, we don't have to put the rocks in her pocket. So until we get a couple more summers of Body by Benetti, Chloe is just going to be a lightweight down in that post. So I like Chloe, her length, her versatility out on the perimeter. I like to see those two, and then even if it was just like, let's sub in and out, Camilla for offense, and then like, pause in the game, put the two of them back in there for defense. And like, you just keep subbing and you keep doing, your thing and mixing it up, but not like ride them so hard to where we get in situations like that where we need to bail it out. So I wanted to see more Sanaya and more Chloe tonight. And then more Malaysia. She didn't come back in the much in the second half. I like what Tessa was doing. I love her aggressiveness. She's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
Like when she gets the green light. But it's like she didn't hit many shots in the second half, so I didn't really understand her being out there over Malaysia. So I just think, you know, the spark, the energy, you know, because they didn't have an answer for Malaysia either. So, you know, I just feel like there were some ways we could have exploited with those three.
Yeah, I'm gonna pose a question. I don't have.
Is it gonna make me violent? Like, let's think about it.
Well, let's see. Are you worried in any way after the SEC tournament final? After this game, do you have any worry about second half performances from South Carolina? Like kind of foot off the gas type of moments, yeah.
No, I don't think it's a foot off the gas thing though, because I feel like the players are giving the same amount of energy. I'm concerned about Dawn being stuck in her ways in terms of lineup. So I'm not concerned about who's on the floor, honestly. I'm concerned about who gets put on the floor, because I feel like Oregon State, they match up better with us. I mean, it's like we're a similar structured team. So that is going to be a little more difficult to beat because like we do the same things well. You know, Camilla and Reagan Beers, they're going to be down there battling and might neutralize each other. You know, you got some solid guard play. You have a good freshman of your own on their team, you know? So I would like to see like, okay, who's the hot hand? Let's exploit it. Who's cooking right now? Let's move. So that's my concern, and that was my slight concern timidly after UNC. It is my full-chested concern now.
Got it.
I can't remember, but did South Carolina play any Pac-12 teams this year?
No.
We didn't have Stanford.
Yeah, because usually it's Stanford, but I don't think so. Let me look. Hold on. Please hold.
We didn't play
UCLA.
Because I wasn't here. I wasn't there, so I'm usually there for
Utah.
Pac-12.
Utah.
We played Utah. Yeah.
Utah was the lone one. Yeah, I know.
That was where Peely had.
That's where Peely.
Yeah, but that was after Neekins went down.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's the same team, but a different team. You know what I mean? Like I think we still would have smacked them anyway. I mean, excuse me. I think we still would have beat them anyway. But like, you know. I think that game, Neekins definitely adds a different dynamic. So it's a little different. Who's the Jenna Johnson for the Beavs?
Ooh.
Like, who is Jenna? Jenna Johnson prepared us for the world?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Jenna Johnson 101, you know. I don't know. But no,
we've seen it all.
Yeah, but no, I definitely agree that when it comes to, and we talked about this in all of our bracket previews, a lot of it, that we all, I think pretty much all of us, I don't know if that's 100% sure, but pretty much all of us, if not all of us, picked Oregon State and South Carolina to be here at this moment. And it was never, nobody picked Oregon State to win, but it was always like, if someone's going to give them trouble, Oregon State feels like the team that's built for in this region to give South Carolina some trouble. Just like you mentioned, they have some size, they have the balance, like they can kind of play however South Carolina ends up taking this game, fast or slow, they can figure it out. And match it in that way. Now, will they beat them? We ain't saying that. That ain't what we're saying. But when it comes to being,
well, that's what Andrew's saying.
Listen, no, we don't. I don't know if he said that, but no, but that's what's going to be interesting in this one is that this feels like, I mean, obviously, pretty much any matchup from here on out is going to not be easy, like with the teams that are going to be there. But Oregon State feels like the first. Really like on paper, like, okay, this can be a game, because Indiana for me didn't necessarily feel like that, but it ended up being one. So
the way that Oregon State was able to dictate the pace today is very intriguing. And I'm not going to say, like, I don't know on a scale from 1 to 10 how worried I would be if I was South Carolina, but that impressed me.
It's not necessarily like, for me, I don't know if I necessarily have confidence in Oregon State as much as I am just acknowledging the possibility is kind of where I'm at with it right now.
I have confidence in them.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it now. Like, based on what I saw today, like, I have confidence in Oregon State. I mean, from South Carolina. I have confidence in Oregon State. Well, like, I think, like, they are a mature team to be as, you know, not led by seniors as they are. So I feel like they can definitely in the same way, like we can figure it out and we have figured it out each game, I think they can do the same thing.
Yep.
So that makes it very, very unsettling.
Yeah.
Because if you got two teams that can figure it out, who's gonna figure it out?
Yeah, no, it should be close. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Looking at the chat a little bit, Boom said I'm a sub to this channel. That's what we like to hear. Make sure y'all subscribing.
Be like Boom.
I'm newish here. I know Tyler and Shawnee's team. Greer, who is yours? Greer. You want
plays tomorrow in prime time.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's move on to the.
She's
game.
a UConn fan.
Yes, it was UConn.
Oh, you could get Luigi popping. Hey, he talking his
He
talk.
inspired me. You didn't feel
talking his talk.
Yeah.
In that moment.
Yeah. Tomorrow's post game is gonna be fun one way or another. I don't know exactly how it's gonna.
I'm sorry, we gotta touch on that real quick because that was such a bar. Like even a hater like myself, I had to pause. I said,
break it down. What was it like? Give
Luigi.
So as in Geno. As in Geno.
Yes.
Well, his mama named him Luigi. I'm gonna call him Luigi. So he's been talking about how Paige Beckers is the best player in college basketball right now. There have been several eyewitnesses, including Dawn Staley and Haley Van Lith. Like, why are people so close to me? Like now, validate. Like, I don't even know why they were pulled for this, other than to like put me in hell. But whatever. People have been, co-signing and what have you. And then I guess there was some pushback.
Being honest, that's all. Go ahead.
Yeah. So then he gets in the presser and was like, I know what the greatest player in college basketball looks like. I've coached more of them than anybody. And I was like, I can't. I mean, you got it, big dog. You got it, big dog. You got it, man. Put the rings on the table. The rings on the table. I ain't mad at it. So yeah, Paige, the way she's been playing the last 2 games, she's on a mission. She smells blood. She's got to remind people who she is. Mm-hmm. She says she's gonna make the world her personal reporter. So I'm with it.
But actually, the way she's playing right now, like
if she didn't report this,
Nike, are you listening?
Yeah, they loud and clear is what they're hearing. But let's go from one National Player of the Year candidate to one that ended her college career today. Cam Brink. Stanford loses this game. That should be a 1 seed. Apologies. That they lose this game to NC State. Yeah, that whole
it was a 2 seed.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, I'm good.
No, because remember we were talking about 1 seed, and then we were like,
I'm all over the place. Place. I messed up because I didn't change the score. Oops. NC State won this game 77-67. My fault, y'all. But Cameron Brink fouls out at about the 8-9-ish minute mark in the fourth quarter. And I mean,
this was also your fault. This was the second game that was your fault. Remember when I said you kept tweeting? You were like, Cam Brink has 5 blocks in the first half. And then I quote tweeted you and was like, oh, and most importantly, no fouls.
That sounds like it's your fault.
No.
You brought up the fouls, not me.
But you keep baiting me into stuff. You keep clipping stuff, and then like when I quote tweeted, now everybody yelling at me, talking about you spoke too soon. Look what happened. And I was like,
it sounds like you did. I don't know how this is my fault.
For responding?
I didn't.
I'm just gonna block you. That's the next step here. Okay. I'm blocking Tyler.
Fine.
But yeah, she had no fouls in the first half. Like I was so upset.
Yeah.
Because why did you do all of your fouling in one quarter? Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Minutes of play.
Yeah.
She hasn't done that since the Tennessee game where her and Tamari Key were like taking turns fouling every 4 seconds until they left.
Fouls. Yeah, I remember that. Right. Yeah.
That was so insane. We thought she was done with this.
Yeah. Back-to-back games fouling out. Like that's a great, frankly.
At your big age.
For a player that has had such a great college career, to go out with back-to-back fouling out is
brain-breaking decision making.
the one where
y'all supposed to be nerds. What the hell is going on up there?
First it was the timeout last year against South Carolina, and now we found it's just genuinely that one foul where it was. She would pick it up full court and then trips into, I think it was Sanaya that she tripped into. And that one That's
the one where I was just kind of like, it's not much you could do. She fell.
Yeah,
and it wasn't like she was.
I don't know, man. Check her bank
Yeah.
because that shit was crazy.
Yeah.
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 I
But
just felt bad for Kiki because
that's what I was about to get into. Yeah.
I was like, here we go again.
Here we go again. Because Kiki did her thing. I mean, 26 points, 10 rebounds, and like I said, NC State wins this game 77-67. I mean, I was just begging for a guard to do something offensively or anything, frankly. I was begging for somebody not named Kiki just to contribute in some way to a Stanford victory. Because it felt like there was like 2 or 3 moments in that quarter where the momentum was like kind of going wishy-washy, and then they just never capitalized on it before NC State could. I remember there was a 3 that went down for NC State with like 3 minutes left, and that's when I was like, okay, this is over.
Well, also that they were up double digits and half.
Yes, this was the biggest blown lead in NCAA tournament history for the Stanford Cardinal. And it all came down to, frankly, like Isaiah James in the second half, 25 points is ridiculous, and doing it in a very efficient way.
In the second half, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yes, it was very close. If not, like I remember seeing the graphic on there. So like right next, it was literally Stanford versus Isaiah James.
There was a point in time.
Yes, right. And I don't think they did much scoring after that. So like this was just brutal, frankly. Like
I think a lot of people thought, right? Like Stanford, they have, guards that you can name, but only because they play for Stanford, not necessarily
and done it for a long time. This has been the problem. We knew what we were getting into with this. I just thought they would get farther.
And to win in March, like of course you need great players. Shout out to Luigi. Of course you need great players, but you absolutely need for at least one of your stars to be a guard.
I think
or
that's fair.
Capable of having star
performances. Yep.
And when you just look down Stanford's bench, they have some young guards who are very unproven. But the people that they've been riding with all season long and Jump, Lapolo, Boscana, like at no point during the season did I think anybody looked at them and said like, come March, they're going to be a problem.
Yeah, they'd have their moments in that, and like Hannah Jump had some moments, like she had moments in like the Pac-12 tournament, like, and when we were there, like I was there boots on the ground and got to experience, like saw that firsthand, and like saw
flex.
Like I was just letting the people know where the no cast place be. But it was like I said, I mean, Lapolo has 0 points at the end of this game. Hannah Jump ends 13, so not bad, but you go 5 for 11 and not really showing up in that fourth quarter when you need to show up.
That's when it was jump time, man, because you keep popping it out to her, expecting her to hit those threes, and then they just don't go in, and it was like, bless Kiki's heart, because you could see that look in her face again where she's like, all right, I'm gonna do the same thing I did. We are not losing this game. And she was, they can't stop her.
Yeah, she did. I mean,
everything she did.
To no fault of Kiki by any means.
Yeah.
Like I mean, Kiki is a first overall pick level talent that we're witnessing right now. And just frankly,
let's talk about 2025. Hey.
She's gonna be the first overall pick. I'm saying she's
over Paige. Over Paige.
I didn't say that. Greer. Hey, Greer. Greer gonna find a way to get her another year.
Something else right now. Don't even worry about that.
But this game, I mean, this was what we have been saying for the entirety of the season, that Stanford guard play is problematic, and we all thought that they would get further than this with it. But they ran into very, very hard play on the other side with NC State, and they immediately got punished for it. And now we're here. And Cameron Brink, career is done at Stanford. Kiki Iriafen obviously is still there. They head to the ACC, which is an incredibly guard-dominant conference, I might add. So that's not great. Like Kiki, if she's gonna.
Let me introduce you to Hannah Hidalgo.
Yeah. Congrats. For me, we've known what the issue's been.
That just inspired me, Shawnee. Oof.
Oh.
But Hannah might be her 50-point game.
Yeah. But no, we've known what the issue is, and frankly, it never felt like Stanford tried to find a solution throughout the season. And that's what bugs me, is that I felt like there was never really anything, because we've known going into, like, we've known there was a reason they were ranked 14 going into this season.
I've really been here 40 years. You knew too.
Yeah, come on now. So like that's what I think was the most frustrating thing to me, is that it felt like there was never really alternatives tried throughout the season. And when alternatives were needed tonight in the biggest moment, there were none to even be thought about, let alone used. So we get here and they go out with the exact reason, frankly, we figured they would go out. If they didn't win at all, we probably knew why. And today that shined through. So
farewell, Stanford Cardinal.
Yes, farewell indeed.
What a way to end.
Yeah, with NC State. Westmore
getting away with it again.
The Elite Eight. Westmore. Shout out to him. But I mean, like I said,
from unranked to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, this has been like obviously NC State hasn't been like they dropped down a little bit from like the highest peak that they were at this season. But this has already been such a successful season for, frankly, a roster that, like I said, they weren't ranked going into the season. I don't think really anyone had necessarily any real level of expectation.
I think they were preseason picked 8th.
That sounds right. Like, yeah, that sounds about right. So, like, no matter what happens from here on out, this is a hell of a season already for what NC State was projected to do going into the season from the general public. So, a big win for NC State. Obviously, a very disappointing end to Cameron Brink's career at Stanford for the Cardinal. But now we see what the ACC looks like for Stanford. We'll get this conference play matchup next year. We'll run it back, which is weird to say. But yeah, I'm excited to see what Kiki does in the ACC ultimately because she's such a special talent. And there's not going to be – I think when you think about the dominant bigs in the ACC, I thought about all of them. I didn't think of any. So it's Kiki's time.
I thought about it. And then
Liz Kitley's gone, y'all. So that's welcome, Kiki. So yeah,
honorable mention to player of the year. That's great.
Yeah, it's just this is a frustrating loss. I feel like for Stanford because you knew this was coming in this way, these problems. So that's what I think is kind of hard for me to stomach it because you see the performance that Kiki gave, and it was 2 problems that we knew about: Cameron Brink's fouling and guard play. It was the same things we've been talking about all season, and here we are talking about it as their season ends. So, sorry about you, Stanford. But do y'all have any closing thoughts here as we end off the day? Like I said, it's been a hell of a day.
Excited for tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be one of them ones.
Hey, you know what? I hate that they put LSU and UCLA at 1:00. Like, why would you do that?
10 a.m. Pacific time. I am pissed.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, West Coast team and Louisiana. Like, no, don't do that.
I would also say, since you're bringing up Albany, I don't know who's out there and who this message. I know who this message should get to. Don't ever in your life choose 3 cities like Portland, Albany, and Cleveland again. Who?
Jalen Sherrod said that Albany was very Connecticut-like.
Yeah.
She's not lying.
And listen, all I know is that if you need something to get your basketball fix in, or if you need a great preview to tomorrow's games, what do we got one for you? If you check the channel, if you haven't subscribed yet, we chopped it up with Jalen Sherrod. The interview dropped this morning, previewing the entirety of the Iowa game, how this season got here. 40 minutes of pure gold of jokes and this incredible, genuine basketball insight, both on and off the court from Jalen. So if you haven't checked that out yet, do it because it was great. She threatened to, if they came to Oklahoma, she was going to drop 50 on me. So that was cool. Valid. She was going to spike me. Yeah, me too. Honestly, it would have been fun. But yeah, we're going to be back again tomorrow. Tomorrow's a huge day. I mean, some of the biggest stars in the game playing tomorrow, and it'll be a little bit earlier when we get on here. So we'll be on here after the last game, which I honestly forget which one is the last one.
Don't play.
Which one is the last one?
Don't play.
Oh my God, it's Duke and UConn. We'll be on at the half, y'all.
No, it's Reagan Richardson's season. But no, we'll be back on after the Duke and UConn game, and be sure to be on the lookout. Make sure you follow us on Twitter so you know every time that we go live, and also subscribe here. Hit the bell. You can also check out the Substack. If you haven't checked out the Oregon State article, you can find it on the Substack, or if you just scroll down on our Twitter, it's not too far down on the profile there. Everything's free to follow, so make sure you stay tapped in with everything no cap space. And we will see y'all back here on the YouTube for the post-game show tomorrow following the Duke UConn game. We'll see y'all then.